Okay, in chapter 2, we're going to work on creating an academic report like you might do for a history class or something like that, where you have to put in footnotes and cite sources. So I won't ask you to type the document. We're going to open up a document. We're going to just format it, save yourself some time. So let me share my screen with you. And these are the objectives. Of course, you can read through those. I'm going to cover those as we go along throughout the document. The only thing probably autocorrect I haven't covered in the assignment here, but we'll cover most of this. So here's what we're building. We're building a little report. The report will just be single spaced when I give it when I give it to you, and then you're going to format it to make it look like this academic report in MLA style. And depending on what class you're in, they will tell you what style they want the paper to be written in. So open up the future of work. Again, it's the file I've given you there in the chapter assignment for project 2. And this is what it'll look like. And you can see this one's just single spaced all the way through. Um, how do you make a um document single spaced? It's just control one, or you select the text and use control one, or use this up here, tell it to be single spaced. But or you could tell it no spacing style. But these paragraphs, they have a short paragraph like this has 8 point spacing after, so you can see there's some space in there. And so just take this as, okay, this is the bulk of my report. It's typed in here, and now I have to make it look like an academic report in MLA style. So the third instruction says modify the normal style to Times New Roman 12 point double spaced 0 point paragraph spacing before and after. So if I go back to the home ribbon, everything is normal. The normal text, normal dot dot is the default, and it stores everything in it. Well, if you right click and go to modify, you can say, okay, I want it to be Times New Roman, which is what they like in MLA style, 12 points, same for MLA. You can go into format, paragraph, and tell it to have 0 points after and make the line spacing double. So double spaced, no points after. So all the lines will look the same, they'll all have the same amount of spacing between them. Okay, so 4 says click in front of the title and type the following. So right here in front of the gig economy, type your first name and last name. So do that for you. And Mr. Antonelli, so whatever this class is, he teaches it. BUSG 2314, small business entrepreneurship, and today's date. So you can use today's date in here and enter. And so these 4 lines are used at the top of every MLA style report. Okay. So it's number 5 says center the title. So here's the title, center it up. And number 6 says create a header to number the pages. Header should be right aligned, consists of last name, space, and number field. So again, this is MLA style. So just double click up in the header, and you can hit your tab twice. It'll take you right over to the right. These are automatically set up inside. There's a center tab, and then there's a right tab stop, and you can see them up here. They're already built into the header. So put your name, your last name, space, and then for the page number, tell it current position is going to be plain number 1 style. And that's the way it ought to look. So you'll see that when you get to page 2, you'll see that it's on second page. And that's just the way the MLA style is supposed to look. Select all the body paragraphs below the title and put in a first line indent. So Here's what I would do. Click in front of the here on the first paragraph, and then just go all the way over to your vertical scroll bar and drag all the way to the bottom. And this is the shift click method I was telling you about. Hold your shift down and click right here at the end. So it takes everything from where you started, where the insertion point was, to where you shift clicked, and it selected it. Okay. So you got several ways to put in a um, first line indent. You can go into the parallel paragraph dialog box launcher and go into special first line. It'll do a 1/2 inch first line indent, hit OK. And you'll see it does it on every paragraph. And if you look in show hide, you'll see there's not a tab there. It's an actual change to the ruler. Okay. So again, you can do it that way. You can do just pulling it over the first line indent or the indent marker up here over to a 1/2 inch. Again, you have to have your text selected. So you got a couple of ways you can do it there. But I normally just go into the paragraph dialog box launcher and turn it on. While all the paragraphs are selected, apply justify alignment. So again, everything, if you still had it selected, good. If you don't, select it again, turn on justify alignment. And of course, you can see it's spacing out things to get over to the right edge, you know. So that's taken care of. Let's see. Change the bibliography style to MLA. So if you go to references, again, like I said, your teacher in whatever class you're in will tell you what style to use. So it may be APA in a nursing class or a Chicago style or Turabian. So anyway, you may be asked to use certain ones. Ours needs to be MLA style. And why is that important? Because the bibliography and the sources that we create, or when we type them in, they will Word will automatically put it in MLA style. So it says locate the second sentence in the first paragraph. So go to the first paragraph, find the second sentence, which is right here. Today represents blah blah blah. And so I'm going down here to the end of that second sentence in the first paragraph. It says move the insertion point after that and add the following footnote. Okay, so again, I have text that's already typed, and you'll need to type this, but move right past the period on money this way, period, and put in your insertion point, and click right there. And then notice here you have insert footnote. Footnotes go at the bottom or the foot of the page. Endnotes go at the end of the chapter. So we don't want an endnote, we want a footnote. So click insert footnote. It puts you down at the bottom of the page, and I need you to type this text. Well, I shouldn't have done it that. Let me put it in this way. Okay. So yours will look like this down at the bottom of the page when you type it in. Uh, we we don't enter the here and put in the second footnote or anything. It's all done just like we did this one. Go to this location you need the footnote, insert a new footnote, and you can put in a second one. But stop the video if you need to. Type this footnote in there. When you get done, number 11 says right click the footnote and change the style. So if you right click this footnote, just like we right clicked heading 1 or title style or normal style like we did a minute ago, right click the footnote, go to style, and it says this is footnote text. What do you want it to look like? Right now it says it's 10 point Times New Roman 10 point. So hit modify, tell it you want Times New Roman 12 point. Go into format, paragraph, and tell it you want it to have a first line indent and you want it to be double spaced. So it'll look just like the text, and I'm just hitting OK and apply. It'll look just like the text that's above it. Okay, so that's pretty nice. If you wanted it to be justified, Again, you can right click, go into style, modify. Right here's justify, left, center, right, justify. And you can make it look just exactly like what's up there. Okay, so change the style. Then it says locate the third sentence in the second paragraph. So here's the second paragraph. So 1, 2, 3. Socially, culturally sentence. So go to the end of it, go after the period, move after the period, after the standard job, and let's put in a second footnote. So insert footnote. Notice it puts it right below. And if you start typing in younger, notice that it is taking on the same style as the previous footnote. It knows what to do. So go ahead and type that in. Let me give you the rest of it here. I'll get it put in there. So it should look just like that. If you need to stop the video, stop, pause it, and then just go ahead and type in your second footnote. Okay, now that we have two footnotes in, what I wanted to show you is notice these footnotes are just mirroring what's up here. So what's cool about it is, let's say I take this, we're not going to do this, but if I take this sentence and I cut it out and I move it up here, maybe I move it to the very first and paste it back in. If I do that, if you go down here at the bottom, you'll notice that the younger one is first now. It knows to reorder them when you move paragraphs around. So that's really good. Let's see. Okay. Redo. Okay. So if you do move, like this paragraph is not supposed to be the first paragraph, it's supposed to be the eighth paragraph, and you move it down there where it's supposed to go, and those footnotes would reorder and you would not have to redo those again. So love it. Okay, right click let's see. We did that. 13, find the phrase algorithmic management by Carrot. I'm just going to click up here in the text and do a Control F. Control F is find. I know it says navigation, but if you go to the home ribbon, you'll see there's a find out here as well, and you'll see Control F is the uh, keyboard keys if you need it. I use it all the time in every Windows program. If you want to replace text, it's Control H. That one's harder to remember, but they couldn't use Control R because that's right aligned. But Control F or find, let's just find the word carrot. Find the word carrot. You'll see it over here. If there were a bunch, you could click on the one you wanted. It'll take you right there to it. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to move right in front of the period and space one time. Okay, we're going to put in a source, which is on number 14. Put in a source, and it's going to create a citation for us inside the document. You don't have to have the navigation open anymore. You can close it. Okay, so go to references and go to insert citation and choose add new source. So we haven't typed any sources in this document. But let's say this particular sentence, we took it out of or paraphrased it from an article in a periodical. So you can choose article in a periodical, magazine article. Okay, here for the author, click edit, and it asks you for the last name, and we're going to put in Lindsay. And first name, I'm just hitting tab, first name Cameron, and tell it to add. So if we had several authors, we'd put them all in there, add them, hit OK, let it do its thing over here. The title is going to be How Macro Choices and Games Motivate Gig Workers. Okay. The periodical title is going to be Harvard Business Review. the year 2024, the month June, date 21, pages 12 through 13, and the medium is print, or in other words, it's in print. So hit OK. It will put in the source for you. If you make a mistake, you can always click on this and go to edit source. It'll take you right back in there. You can also, if you're anywhere in your documents, you can always go to manage sources. It'll show you your current list of sources in this document. You can click on it. You can go to edit. It'll take you back in there. So if you mess up, not a big deal. You can always go in and fix it. So this is the citation. Okay, this is the source, the whole source that it pulled from to build this citation. Well, in this citation, I want you to go in and drop the arrow down and choose Edit Citation, and on the page numbers, put 12 through 13. I know that you put that in the source. It's not going to pull it out of the source. You have to put it in there, so that'll work. Okay, let's go do another one. Go to the fourth paragraph. So where's the fourth paragraph? 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. Go to the fourth paragraph. Move the insertion point before the period at the end of the first sentence. So go find the end of the first sentence right here, space, and we're going to do another source. So insert citation, add new source. This time it's going to be a book. And the author's name is going to be, there's going to be two. So Ritter, Alex, add it. Brown, Martha, add it. Hit OK. And you see how it's doing like the semicolons and stuff. That way you don't have to memorize how to do all that. It's doing all the work for you. The Gig is Up is the name of the book. 2025. City is New York. Publisher is Agenda Publishing. Medium is print again. Okay. So this time we're doing a book. Hit OK. It drops in Ritter and Brown since we have two authors this time. And I want you again, drop it down, go to edit citation, and we're going to put in 20 for the page number. And it'll put it in there. Okay. Then it says go find governments, the paragraph governments are testing divergent fixes. So let's go find that. Here we go. And it says move to the end of the last sentence in that paragraph. Okay, right before the period, space again, and let's go and put another source. So insert citation, add a new source. This time it's going to be a website. So a lot of things we find now are on websites. Author, again, edit, and we're going to put in Perry, Danita, add. Okay, we got the author in, the name of the web page. How Pew, P-W, Research Center studied gig workers in the U.S. Okay, the year that it was created was 2024, December 8th. The date that we accessed it was 2025, July the 7th. The medium is going to be web. Okay, notice that some things are missing here. I don't have a place for the producer name or the URL. So all I have to do is tell it, if you don't see everything you need, tell it show all bibliography fields, and then you can go down and find, okay, here's the producer name, Pew Research Center, and then go down and find the URL. There it is, pewresearch.org. Okay, so get all of that into your source, hit OK. Again, it'll build the citation for you. It's a web page, so it doesn't have pages, and there's no reason for us to put pages out here. So we're doing great. So we got our two footnotes in, we got our three sources in. By the way, I showed you a minute ago, they're in there, they're showing they're being used. Now, if you ever need to go somewhere else and use the same source, you can click, put your space in, go in here, choose the one you need and drop it in. Okay. They ask us to hit Control and the End key, E and D. That'll take you to the very end of your document. Get used to using Control Home to move to the top, Control End to move to the bottom. So we need to be at the very bottom, and just past the period, and we'll put in a Control Enter. And again, this is a hard page break, just a hard page break that ends this page and says, okay, now we're going to start on the next page. Okay, they want us to type the words works cited and center it. But on every paragraph, when we entered, it took this paragraph mark and it moved it down to this line. So this paragraph mark took on the first line indent. So remember, you can go into paragraph and turn off the first line indent, or you could, if it's over here at 1/2 inch on the ruler, you can grab that marker and pull it back to give you no first line indent. So works cited, hit enter. Now we're centering, so go back to the left, and they want us to drop in a bibliography. Now here are some choices you can make. If you go into references and here under bibliography, they have one that has the title bibliography, one with references, one with works cited. Well, works cited is the only one that is MLA style. So if I click that, it would put in the title and all the entries for me. Okay. In this case, we've already typed works cited, and all we're going to do is insert a bibliography. Okay, so very easy. This is a field, by the way. If you click on it, you'll see it's a field. Let's say you made some mistakes in your sources up here, you can always go back into Perry, go to edit source, make whatever change it is, and it'll save it. But it'll still be wrong here because this is a field that's already been pulled from. So you can right click and tell it to update the fields. If you make any changes, it's easy to come back in and just update your works cited page with a right click and update. Okay, do a spell check on your document, save it as, go back up here at the top, save it as the future work. I'll save as, I'm going to put mine on the desktop. The future of work, and your initial and your last name. Okay, so we got it done. So the last instructions say to save it and to submit it as your chapter assignment for chapter project 2. Okay. So what did I not cover in the list? I need to look at that real quickly. Something like let me go back up to the top here. Line spacing. So remember, line spacing, you've got it right here. Whenever you want to select a bunch of text or a particular paragraph or something, you can tell it single space, double space. I always use Control 1 for single space, Control 2 for double space. You can also find that under paragraph, go under line spacing here and change it. So we did double spacing for this document. You know where paragraph spacing is. Headers and footers. In this particular document, we put in a header. So we'll cover some more on footers later. We put in a page number in that header. Turned on our rulers, first line indent, autocorrect. We didn't do any work with autocorrect. And let me just see if I have this one set up this way. If I were to type ADN in space, see how it says, hey, that's wrong. You didn't spell and correctly. Or TEH. You see how it automatically corrected that? I can set up this word in autocorrect and it will autocorrect every time I misspell it. So, I mean, that is something that you might want to go into and work on the autocorrect options. I didn't even worked on this in a while, so I'm having trouble even telling you where it's at. Uh, okay, well, I have to give that to you later. So anyway, I would not ask you to do any autocorrect because autocorrect saves on your machine instead of, in your document. So when you build an autocorrect, I would never be able to see it. You know what I put in bibliography? We did not talk about the type of indent that's used in a bibliography. Let me move this out of the way for a second. If I go back here and go to the bottom, I told you that it built this on its own, but can you see up here on the ruler, you see how it's doing what's called an outdent or a hanging indent? Well, we didn't have to do it, but if we would have had, if we were asked to build a hanging indent, it's in the same location as your first line indent. So you would just tell it instead hanging indent. So a first line indent indents in, where a hanging indent takes the first line and indents out. We didn't do any work really with copy paste, but let me just quickly cover that. If I wanted to take this word, I could do a Control C, come right back in here. Control V is paste. That's a fast way to do it. If you select a word or a paragraph or whatever it might be, you've got copy and you've got paste right here. There are choices under paste, so I like this one a lot where it merges into the formatting of whatever you're working on, but you can tell it just, just text only and drop it in there. So don't do that in your document or anything. I'm just showing you how it works. Find and replace, showed you Control F is find. If you do a Control H, that's replace. This is what it looks like. So it'll ask you what to find, replace it with what. You can go into more and tell it to look for a certain case, whole word only. So lots of things that can help you find what you're looking for. I use Control F all the time to do find and replace. We didn't do any work with synonyms in this one, but if I were looking for a synonym to, let's say, lean here, for example, I can right click on it, I can go to synonyms, and I can choose thin. That's not the word I wanted there, of course, but it allows you to quickly come up with some synonyms. And then just basically knowing the MLA format. What does the MLA format look like? What's the headings look like? What does the first little information section look like? What is the double spacing and um, first line indents and that sort of thing. So anyway, I know I didn't cover all of this stuff in the chapter, but or in the assignment, but hopefully that will help you. Um, okay, that'll cover chapter 2. Thanks.